This is the SpaRetailer Podcast, where we talk retail, business, and all things related to the hot tub industry. I'm your host, Megan Kendrick, owner of SpaRetailer Magazine. Today on the SpaRetailer Podcast, I have Dustin Hutcheson. He's a wellness consultant at Hot Springs Spas of Iowa and Minnesota. Thanks for joining us today, Dustin.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Megan.
So tell me a little bit about where you work and that business and how it got started, and then we'll talk about your background. So tell me about the company that you work for.
Yeah, so I work for Agribolt / Hot Springs Spas of Iowa, Minnesota. Dad Shaven and Sean Shaven and their two siblings are the owners. There's four of them. Their dad, Paul Shaven, started it back in 1968, and it was an agriculture type company. So what he did was he was selling bolts out of Carroll, Iowa, small town. And long story short, farmers would say that their bodies hurt and whatnot. So Paul actually drove down to Vista, California, bought a hot tub, brought it back, sold it, got two, brought them back, sold it. And then it just escalated to like, this is a big opportunity. Farmers are having aches and pains, obviously, for their duty at work. So he saw light, at the end of the tunnel with this hot tub business. And it just started from there. And here we are today with 7 stores.
Yeah, which is, that's 7 stores, and I feel like you cover a pretty wide area.
Yeah, so we got Carroll, which is the east or west of Iowa. And then we have the Okoboji store now. It used to be in Arnold's Park, so it's real close to each other, which is up north. And there's a lot of opportunity up there because it's a huge lake where everybody goes boating. It's a seasonal store, I would say.
Yeah.
But, it's another opportunity up in those small Iowa towns. And then Des Moines, Clive, which is what I'm based out of, is our bread and butter, our busiest store. And then we just opened up an Ankeny store, which is a suburb of kind of Des Moines as well. And that's starting to grow because we're starting Caldera out of that store.
Okay.
And then we have 3 Twin City stores in the Twin Cities.
Okay. I think when people aren't from the Midwest, like that kind of sounds insane to be that spread out.
Yes.
But you're kind of, I don't know, you're just used to driving. Like that's just what you do. You don't really think twice about it to get around from place to place when you live in those areas. Like things are just spread out. So that's what you do.
Because it's 3.5 hours from Des Moines to Okoboji, right? So
Yeah.
Our Des Moines store kind of goes 1.5, maybe 2 hours out. So that's why it's nice to have that Carroll and Okoboji area so we can cover those small town people that want our brand of hot tub.
Yeah.
Really not a lot of other dealers that service you and take care of you, when you're from small town Iowa and you're 2 hours away from a bigger city.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty, it's just a different business model than what a lot of dealers do, right? They kind of want that, like, I don't know. You don't want to get a lot of people, you don't want to get like super spread out for service and things like that. Whereas like for you guys, that's kind of what you have to do.
Yeah. Yep. We try our best, to cover the whole state other than the eastern part. I'd say kind of on the Illinois border by Davenport, which is another dealer out there. But it's nice to, at the Iowa State Fair, which is coming up in a month, is our Super Bowl where we do 150 to 200 hot tubs in 11 days. So that's when you get all these little small town Iowa people from everywhere. And it's nice that you can say, yeah, we will deliver it to you. We'll service you. You got to work with us if you're way out in the boonies, but we'll always be able to help you out.
Yeah. Yeah. So how did you get into the hot tub industry?
So I actually been in sales for the last, let's say 15, 16 years. And I was selling cars at the time, doing really well. was a small dealership, but I was their number one sales guy. And that's when the chips were taking forever for new cars,
Oh,
and
sure.
used cars were overpriced. And it was just kind of a sticky situation. And my GM, Ryan Hutcheson, same last name spelled differently. Known him for a long time.
Okay.
He reached out to me and saw my success doing cars, and he's like, "Hey, you should come sell hot tubs." And the first time he asked me, I was like, "I don't know, man. I mean, my parents have had a hot tub, and I know people have them, but I didn't see how you can make money selling hot tubs, right?" So
Yeah.
I kind
Not
of,
not compared to a car.
yeah. Well, I didn't know how much hot tubs cost, I guess.
Well, that's not true.
As well, when he asked me, but long story short, sold cars another couple weeks, and then I was like, you know what? I got to at least try it out and see what happens, just because the car business was slowing down. So I tried it out. I started literally, it'll be my third year coming up here in a couple weeks, because I started like 2 weeks before the Iowa State Fair, which is in August. So took a chance, and the last coming up 3 years now, I've been the top guy, been consistent, and it's crazy how many people, love hot tubs and then swim spas and saunas and so on. So I love what I do though. It's fun. I use all the products myself, except for don't have the swim spa due to space in my townhouse, but I got I got a sauna, plunge, and hot tub. So,
Okay.
but,
Okay.
but yeah, it's something I like doing. Like cars was, I'm not a car guy, but it was, I was good at interacting with people and helping them out, and worked at the place I grew up in. So I knew a lot of people as well. But hot tub business, I transitioned to my, friends I've met the last 20 years since I've been in Des Moines, and get a lot of business that way as well, which helps because not a lot of people are coming into the store. I think probably pre-COVID, and then during COVID, it was like I missed that boat, but it's probably good because people are just taking sales left and right just over the phone, and
Yeah.
probably got used to getting easy business. But
Yeah.
I came
So
in
you
that.
okay,
Yep,
so you missed that the COVID craziness.
I did. I did. I
Yeah.
missed it, but it's been a good almost 3 years now, and just always try to keep growing.
Yeah. So I met you briefly at the Hot Spring Conference this last January. I think I heard while we were there, do you have a nickname?
Yeah, Charmer is my nickname. It was my top. It was my mom gave me that. It was a top for Top Gun. I'm sure you've heard of that.
That's the Hot Spring sales, like top sales training
Yeah.
program, right?
Yep. Yep. In Vista, California, you just go through it once. I was lucky enough to go, I think, 6 months into when I first started, because I started off really good,
Yeah.
and owner saw something in me, and then he sent me out there. So it's like Maverick and Goose, right? The movie Top Gun. It's intense trainings from Scott Iverson, Mike Egan, and others that, teach you all the ins and outs of, the beginning of a hot tub sale to closing the sale for about 2 to 3 days intensely. So long story short, you have to come up with a call sign, and you can't use any others that been going on since 1996. I believe that's when it started. So I asked my mom, what should I name myself? And she said, well, you're charming and you have a good personality. So go with Charmer. So that's what I did. And I kind of transitioned that name into my business. And I don't know if you've seen Better Call Saul, which is one of my favorite shows, but
Yeah.
I made shirts that say Better Call Charmer instead of Better, and do some different shirt ideas too, with my name. But
Yeah.
that's how I got that Charmer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you think it's important when you're in sales to kind of build your own personal brand like that?
I do. And I see more people are doing it. I'm not saying I started it, but I know that people have asked me several times. I see you on social media a lot, posting videos of the products yourself. And to me, with today's society, everyone on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, you name it, I think that drives a lot of business these days, especially in that, younger to 40, 40 to even my mom's on Facebook all the time and she's 67. So,
Yeah.
yeah, people see that. And I believe it works for me just because I use the products, and I encourage people that don't, if they can get a product in their own, home or apartment, whatever it is, it's a lot easier to tell that experience to the consumer on what it's doing for you. So,
Yeah.
because I know when I show them videos of me and my cold plunge or sauna, they're like, "Oh, he's not just making this stuff up. He lives that life." So
Yeah. 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 I mean, that's really interesting. I feel like a lot of times, um, as salespeople, you're just pushing, your brand and your store and not necessarily putting yourself out there in that way. But I think you're right. I think in today's day and age where kind of everyone has access to all the information, I think having that personal connection and personal brand, if you will, is important.
I agree.
So what do you take from your time selling cars to selling hot tubs? What are some I mean, do you feel like that experience helped you kind of get off the ground so quickly selling hot tubs?
No, I don't. I've always been somebody. It just is me, and I don't really have a certain way I go about things. I am who I am. I don't try to be somebody else. I can get along with a homeless guy on the side of the road and talk to him, or I can get along with, a suit and tie CEO type personality. And to me, I think it's just sales is being confident and no matter what you're selling, being yourself and knowing how to judge and read people. You know what I mean? So I think just by going through all the things I've gone through in my life and being all the things I've been through and where I've been, I think that just my personality and being able to talk to people and not, be shy, you know, just tell them how I feel about the product. If it was cars, I mean, I remember on a test drive, they're like, "So what'd you do before this?" And I'm just honest with them. I'm like, "I just got out of prison, actually." And
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "Yeah." So we got back to the dealership and they're like, "We're gonna buy this car because you're not full of BS. And we like you. You just tell it how it is and you led us in the right direction. And that's what happened. So
Yeah.
yeah. So
Well, I mean, there's a story there.
yeah. Oh yeah. And I tell people my story and it inspires a lot of people just because I've been on the very high of life and been on the very bottom of life. And, not to get too in depth into it because I'm not a serial killer, whatnot, but I was selling LED lights using the power company's rebate program when they used to have it and was
Yeah.
doing the invoicing wrong that I didn't realize and was trying to do it the same way I did it when I sold insulation for 8 years with two guys that were friends of mine and was just fine doing it that way. So I was the sales guy, but I was just trying to wing everything when I did it on my own with the lights. Long
Yeah.
story short, it wasn't the right way and didn't know what was penalties for it, but that's ended
That's
up going 3 years, yeah, away.
a pretty
But
harsh that's a pretty harsh penalty.
yeah, yeah, but I always tell people, you know, it's one of those things where it is what it is. You just gotta learn from it, which I did. It changed my life in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
I haven't drank for 6.5 years. I haven't, I've read more books than I ever did in my life in that time and learned
Yeah.
a lot, motivational books, self-help books, sales books. So it just made me even more lethal when it comes to, you know, being out in the real world because I learned
Yeah.
a lot of just what life's about. Cherish what you got because it could be you could be on the other side of things. It's not so good. So I always try
Yeah.
not to get too caught up in everyday life and just be thankful for what we have every day. So
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like in a lot of ways you're kind of a natural, right? Like as far as the talking to people and connecting to people, it sounds like that comes really naturally to you. But I imagine that, I mean, from what you've said, it sounds like you also still do a lot of work on your sales skills and on yourself to be able to perform every day. What are some of the things that you do to try to stay sharp?
one of them just, I listen to a lot of sales type material, like those audio books, and obviously still read a lot of books
Mhm.
too. Since we're on this little podcast, if you have time or anyone listening, you should read Relentless Sales. It's just a good book that caught my attention, and it was one of those books where I read the whole thing. It wasn't very long, like 180 pages, but I couldn't put it down just because it just refreshes you on how to be the best you can possibly be, but also have that mindset and motivation each day to how to attack the day, right? Because a lot of people can be complacent when, oh, I got 20 deals this month. Now I can show where I'm like, I want to I want 100 a month, It, I know that's probably not, it's a big goal, but I'm just always trying to make myself better, and I don't get upset with, only getting so many. Whatever I get upset with the people that didn't buy from me, and just try to think in my mind when they don't let me know why, what I did maybe wrong or what could I have done differently to get that deal done, you know? And some you can't win them all, but it's always nice to try to learn, from what you could have done better. So
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
there's no perfect salesman. That's why I always tell myself you just got to learn each and every day. I learn something different every day from could be other people in my company, it could be people I went to Top Gun with. And I like to share my success stories or things I do that people might not be doing that will help them. So I always try to look outside the box, think outside the box and see how I can keep my consistency going.
Yeah. For someone in the hot tub industry, what would you say is a decent closing ratio?
So if there's online leads, right?
Right.
That's a different animal. I think if you can do 30%, 3 out of 10 from online leads, that's really good.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm someone that is hard on myself. So if it's face to face, which I love the best in person in the store,
Yeah.
if I can't get 7 out of 10, I'm I'm disappointed. So I'd say
Okay.
70% is where I
Okay.
want.
Okay.
But I think if you can go 50%, you're doing good.
Yeah. I mean, I asked that because we have a sales training program that we've been doing with Steve Hassenmuller over the last almost year now. And yeah, some of the statistics he has on, closing ratios in our industry and what they are and what they should be.
Yeah,
I was just curious what you thought. And it kind of tracks with what he says. Like most people are probably at 20%, then there it's because they're doing the bare minimum.
yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like if you're really working at it and trying and, working your leads, that you should be getting it up to that 60-70%. So,
yeah, yeah. 60 is good. I mean, 50 to 70 is good. I mean,
yeah,
you know, I don't care who you are. I mean, 100 is just. I mean, I've had people that they're fresh leads, but they're like, "Oh, we're just came here to look. We're just killing it. We're killing time. We're not even, from the area." Or they,
yeah,
I have $3,000 my budget, and it's just like, well, sorry. As much as I want to help you, I don't have any, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's those that
Sure. Yeah.
got it.
Not real prospects.
Yeah, but it happens.
Yeah. So, what does your lead follow-up look like? Because I do feel like that's something that,
The number one thing, in
uh,
my opinion, and that's
yeah,
why other dealers I've talked to, they're like, we wish we had 5 of you, because that's my number one thing I'm the best at when it comes to persistency, blowing people up until they tell me. I'll even send an email saying, let me know if you want me to kick rocks, because I will. But you
yeah,
reached out to me. I'm just trying to guide you in the right direction. So I know if I was them, I wouldn't want to be getting texts and emails every day, because I will not stop until you tell me one way or the other. So I would tell someone, hey, now's not the right time. Follow up with me in 6 months, or I am not interested at all anymore. I was, but now I'm not. Or, you
yeah,
know, if you call me when next year when I get my bonus, whatever. But follow up is the number one thing. And I've even had realtors say you would be a good realtor because your follow up is impeccable, because that's what I think's best way. I mean, you have to, sales is always about, no matter what you're selling, you always have to stay on people, because it's that fresh mindset, right? When your goal is to get them done when they're at the store, but that doesn't always happen. But if you stay on them and keep them excited about it, they're not going to lose that interest, I don't think. But if you
yeah,
don't follow up with them in 2 months, like, hey, just seeing if you're still interested in a hot tub, they probably already bought some hot tub somewhere else.
yeah, or something completely different,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We decided to go on a cruise, you know.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. How do you do that and, like you said, keep them excited and not get, annoyed that you're still contacting them? Like, what do you do to keep the excitement high and the annoyance low?
Yeah, I don't try to be annoying, like you said. I think just trying to tell them, in my email, text message, hey, I don't care what you do, what you buy, if you buy anything, and I'll tell them that. I'm just trying to see what you're trying to accomplish, get you in what best fits your needs, your budget, whatever you want to, however you want to say it. But that's how I kind of go about it. And I'm just like, hey, if it's the fair coming up, if it's Black Friday sale, like, hey, we have a special deal going on. We have one body for the rest of our lives. I've spent a lot of money on stupid other stuff, but my hot tub, my sauna, and my cold plunge do nothing but benefit my everyday, wellness, my everyday body, my everyday mindset, because it's helping me focus in the cold plunge. It's helping me with my arthritis in the sauna. It's helping with my back pain and joints for my hot tub. So you just try to get them excited about, hey, this is something that you can use every day, and it's doing nothing but good for you.
Yeah, yeah. How important do you think it is having that sense of urgency, like having a reason like that, like, Black Friday or this fair or whatever, to get them to, pull the trigger right then?
It's good to have those in your back pocket, right? Because when they come in, they came in for a reason. So your goal is to, a lot of people buy on excitement and spontaneous, especially at the fair. They're had a few drinks and they're like, oh, hot tub, and they're with their significant other.
Yeah,
And you're like, well, this is the best you're gonna get. It's the state fair. We have free Bluetooth today, or whatever you want to throw in.
yeah, yeah,
Uh, so it's important to do it then, while they're there and it's on their mind. But I also have a little bit of I I guess they see that I actually care about them. I'm not just trying to sell them something, because I tell them
yeah,
straight up, like, you know, I'm not saying you guys have to buy today. It is a really special deal. But timing is important, and it happens sometimes where, you got them close. It's just sometimes I don't care if I told them it's, you know, $4,000. They just might not have $4,000. You know what I mean?
mhm,
I could tell them it's the biggest sale, best price they're ever going to get. and it just doesn't matter to some people. It's just kind
Yeah.
of, well,
Yeah.
so if I know it's probably not going to happen then and there, I use my, I care about you still, and just let me know when the time's right. Be more than happy to help. So you can always have that down the road when they are ready. Cause I've had people call me 2, 3 months later, like, "Hey, Dustin, now I'm ready. Thanks for always checking in with us." Cause I do, weekly saying, "Hey, this is going on this week or this month," and then just kind of keep them in the loop of
Yeah.
what's going on.
Yeah. Because so I am definitely one of those people where I will check something out, I'll look at it, I'll make a decision, and I may not actually buy it for, like, another year. Like,
Yeah.
I am one of those people, like, I just especially for a big purchase, like, I need a lot of time to, like, for it to set in that you're gonna spend this amount of money and, like, other things come up, like, we're putting on a new roof this month, like, I'm not gonna, pay to redo our bathroom or
Yeah.
whatever it may be, like,
Oh,
I usually I will do it, but it may take me a really long time to actually get there.
yeah. And it happens more than it doesn't. So that's why I always tell people
Yeah,
follow-up's key. I'll send them a postcard saying, "Hey, thanks for your time. It was nice meeting you at the store, the fair. You know, let me know when your bathroom remodel's done and recoup some of your money where,
yeah,
you can utilize it for a hot tub." But yeah, it's one of those things where timing's right time,
yeah,
place, because I've sold one at the fair when I first started the first fair. They were all excited. I got them done. And then the next day, fair, you have a 3-day window.
yeah,
They got in a car wreck and they needed to have to pay for a new car. And I'm like,
yeah,
get a new car. It's not, I can cancel the hot tub. Don't worry about it. I wasn't mad, obviously,
yeah,
but they were all excited that I actually was like, yeah, get a new car. And I thought about them first. I'm not worried about one sale. And then they ended up buying 2 years later, not too long ago, because of they're ready now. So,
yeah, yeah,
because I don't like to pressure people. That's one thing I don't do and I won't do, because when we're at the stores, just why you brought this up, and I'm sitting them down, I have a really good sense of where where they're what they're thinking, reading them really well with their um, body language and stuff. So I sold probably, I'd say 50, 60%, where they'll call me 2 hours later or even the next day and say, "Hey, we want to move forward with you." Because they even said, "You weren't pressure, you didn't pressure us. We liked everything you told us. We're on the right hot tub and everything looks good. We just wanted to think it through." And but
yeah. I mean, it's a big purchase. Like hot tubs, like you said, they're not $3,000 anymore. Like
yeah,
you're spending
25 grand on stuff.
yeah, 5 to $25,000. Like that's not. I mean, I don't know how it works in your household, but that's a conversation for us. Like
Yeah,
we're not doing that without thinking about it and talking about it, and then coming to a decision where we both feel comfortable that that's what we want to do. So
absolutely. And I've sat 'em down too where I'm like, you know, they're like, they just don't know. And then I always call it check the boxes, right? Or like, do you like the hot tub? Yes. Do you like the layout? Yes. Do you like the comfortability? Yes. Then you get to price, and I'm like, we might just be on the wrong hot tub. So, for example, they're on the Pulse, where I can go $4,000 down to a Rhythm, and that just might be they don't want to physically tell me, verbally tell me it's because we can't afford it, whatever. So that's when I'm like, maybe we're just on the wrong hot tub. Would 14,000 instead of $18,000 price range be a little more reasonable for you guys? And then they look at each other, and that's probably has happened several times, because that's
yeah,
exactly where it's at. They just want someone to tell them, "Hey, let's backtrack a little bit and get you
yeah.
on the right hot tub."
Yeah, like, you can still get everything that you want and you need out of this, maybe not some of the bells and whistles, but you can still get all of the core things that you're looking for at a price that's a lot more comfortable for you.
Yeah. And Hot Springs, has everything in a $6,000 hot tub with hot water and, getting massage therapy and being a quality, durable, energy efficient hot tub. So I tell people, no matter what you get, it's going to be just as good. It's just where do you want to be at, right?
Yeah.
And see what they're comfortable with, because that's another reason why they are comfortable around me, because I don't just show them the Grandy and the big hot tubs.
Yeah.
I ask them questions and listen. Like, you guys just want a cold beer sitting in a hot tub and look at each other and the stars, the TriStar little two-seater, works just fine.
Yeah.
So it's just, you got to make it fun and make them comfortable. Like, hey, I'm just here to guide you, and then I'll show you a bunch of different hot tubs, and you kind of tell me where you want to go.
Yeah. So Hot Spring has come out with a lot of new innovations in the last couple of years. So they've had their, the freshwater salt for a while, but now they've added all of the IQ things with the monitoring and now the dosing. I mean, do you feel like that gives you a really good competitive advantage? I mean, what kind of feedback do you get from customers on those kinds of upgrades?
Yeah. So the most recent in 24 is the IQ system, where it tells them exactly how much to put in for your pH, where your chlorine levels are from your saltwater cartridge levels, how much salt you have in your hot tub. So I always bring it up to them, as well as a smart top cover. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
sell a lot of those too. So I tell them, with the IQ, if you're somebody that's busy, not even really busy if you don't have to be, but if you're especially busy and you're always on the go and don't want to check it regularly, salt system's obviously easier to maintain than a chlorine, but the IQ system tells you exactly what to do. And it's kind of a dummy proof system where you can't really screw up. So I'd say sell half of them to people just because that's what they want. And then the other
Yeah.
half, maybe just want to wait on it. And then the smart top, same thing. If you're in the wide open in the middle, small town island farmland, and it's not underneath the deck, this will last you the durability of your hot tub rather than spending $1,000 on a regular cover every 2 to 4 years.
Yeah.
I want to think about that. So that's how
Yeah.
I,
Yeah, I feel like, as the price goes up for normal hot tub covers, like, that kind of upgrade makes more and more sense, right?
it does.
Yeah, like, they're not a couple $100 anymore, which I feel like people are like, "Yeah, it's not a big deal, a few $100 every couple years, whatever." But now it's like, "No, I'm not spending $1,000 every 2 years or whatever to get a new hot tub
Yeah, and
cover."
I'm transparent with them, and I'll tell them straight up. Like, I'm not scared to say. I'm not saying our regular cover is bad. I'm just saying it's just, no matter what cover, whatever hot tub you buy in this, I don't care what type of brand it is.
I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Those covers will get waterlogged. They can only last so long.
Yeah,
So it makes them, think on what they want to do, because it's worth the investment when I tell them certain things, like I just said. But it's always good to give them options, right?
yeah. Do you feel like the IQ system, do you feel like that is more attractive to first-time buyers or second-time buyers? Or is it a mix?
If I had to guess, just from my experience,
Yeah,
I would say I have more luck with first time buyers, just because they never had a hot tub before, right? So
okay. Yeah,
this tells you exactly. I show them in person when they're at the store, and they're like, "Oh, so I don't have to take a test strip to it." I'm like, "No, it's really telling you I had 1 tablespoon of pH up or down, or no action needed." So they're like, "This is awesome." You know, I'm learning. It was a learning curve though, right? So when it came
sure.
out 24, I didn't realize at first that Renew, the oxidizer, kind of throws the IQ system off. So if they don't get it, then I tell them this is what you want to do to keep it easier to maintain with the shocking it every so often. But when you have the IQ, it's pretty much just use the boost, on your screen, and then just make sure your saltwater cartridge is getting replaced every 4 months, because that will
Yeah,
throw off the salt levels too, even though there's enough salt in there. So it's just trying to be very informative, on what to do on which route they go. But
Yeah.
but I'd
Yeah.
say I'd say first time, but even second time, like they've had a hot tub for 10 years and it was salt with the Ace cell system. Then they're
Yeah.
then they get, attracted to the every 4 months pop in a cartridge, which is less cost effective too for on their end because those Ace cell systems weren't cheap. And then they're like,
Yeah.
oh, I just gotta dispose it every 4 months. Yep. And then you can bring in the ITU and then that even makes it, a cherry on top when they're wanting to make it easy on them.
Sure. Sure. So you're still relatively new to the hot tub industry.
Yeah.
Um, what has surprised you about selling hot tubs? Something that you didn't really expect, or just as you got into it, were like, huh, I didn't think it would be like that.
Well, I didn't realize. So when I first started, I went on, some deliveries just for like 2 or 3 days after one of our other Clay County fairs. It's called smaller fair, but a
Yeah.
decent sized one. So I wanted to see what the other side of the business was when our guys go out and deliver them, and it's nothing simple or easy. They're not light. My parents have had a hot tub when I was growing up, but I never tried to move one, right? So
Yeah.
just the the small details, the ins and outs of the service side, how everything works from getting shipped from Vista to Des Moines, the whole process is is crazy how it works, right?
Hmm.
Um, and how many people buy a hot tub. I mean, just not just in Iowa, but in general, by meeting you at the conference, you see how many people from all over the world sell these things. So it's been a lot, to take in from just the 3 years. And like I said, I'm still learning stuff every day, but I'd say just how the whole system works from start to finish. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
Not just
Um,
drop it off, here you go. It's a process.
yeah. Yeah. I'd imagine, everyone is different. Like every backyard is different. Every setup is different. There's nothing that's you know, consistent about that.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I mean, I've had them drop down into like a pit. I've had them up the steps on a 10-step deck.
Yeah.
I've had them where you have to have a crane. So there's a lot of things that happen, and customers, I think, realize that with how we do it the right way too. Because I tell them when they come in, you can go get a cheaper hot tub anyway. You're paying for the quality, the name, the energy efficiency is big, I think, but also you're paying for the complete best setup from start to finish. Like we do the things the right way. We put their cover and lifter and steps, where they need to be. We fill it up
Yeah.
in Des Moines and give them an orientation. It might be quick because they got other stuff to do, but at least they're not just got a, blank light going off where they don't know anything. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
I think it's funny, just it's funny, but it's not surprising. I mean, just your surprise that so many people want hot tubs and buy hot tubs. Because I feel like if you are not working in the industry, I mean, people kind of give me side eye all the time where it's like, you work in the hot tub industry? Like, there's enough to talk about in the hot tub industry to do a magazine like every, 6 issues a year. And it's like, yeah, there's a lot. Like, to trust me, this is a real industry where people make real money. I
yeah,
promise.
yeah, yeah. And there's change every day, even if it's the still model, there's just always something that you can talk about. And I read your magazine when you guys sent it to me. And, I know Jim Walls, who I'm buddies with, that does Ideal, because
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
ones we used to carry before
Yeah.
hot things. So he's a good dude. But yeah, I learn a lot from him just from being in the industry and a bunch of others at the conferences where I met you. So it's cool to see what everyone else does on their part. It's not just marketing, sales, and ownership. There's and service. There's a lot of other ins and outs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Is-
it's a lot.
Yeah.
What are some things that you think that your company does really well? I mean, you kind of mentioned it already about, doing the delivery right and all of that, but what are some things that make you guys stand out? Because, I mean, you're I would say, one of the biggest hot spring dealerships probably in the country, right?
Yeah, I think we're in the top five for sure, if I can remember. I
Yeah,
know one
agreed.
or three, but either way, we're in the top 10 for sure when it comes to numbers. Well, I'd say, it all starts up top. It's a family owned business. They're all great people, great to work for, take care of you. So I like to bring up that story I told you where we started out of a small town, Iowa, was
Yeah,
an agribolt company that converted into a hot tub company. So, sales is a story to tell, right? Whose story is better, right? When you go to places. So I like to tell our story as a company and then sometimes my story. And you can relate, they can relate to you, some people in certain ways. But I think just from the startup, from the management to, you know, having good service people, right? So I always tell people there's a reason why we have a 4.8 out of 5 with 753 reviews right now for a reason. So when I go to a restaurant or you go somewhere, I'm sure you Google it to see what people say about them. So I think it's not just starts up top. Like I said, it goes from the salesperson, which I will go to your house on my day off to make sure you know what's going on because they know it's my day off and I'm going there and they really appreciate that because I actually care about
yeah,
what I'm doing. And I think that's, a reason why I am where I am when it comes to what I sell because I go above and beyond. But it also, my service guys are helping me out when they have a smooth delivery and, telling them, giving them a sheet on what to do and they get it. So they're not just, you know, clueless. So it's a bit of everything, but like I said, I think it's just from where they started and they just grown and they've done so much and they spend a lot of money making sure it's done the right way with, enough service guys, um,
yeah,
the nice, easy accessories to utilize with the cover, lifters that Watkins provides. Cause you go to other hot tub companies, yeah, they might be cheaper, but when you look at everything in a nutshell, when it comes to the whole package, they might deliver it out into your driveway and say, here you go. Or,
yeah,
nickel and dime you on all the other little things where ours is, this is what you get and everything's included. So,
yeah. We occasionally will have consumers call us and they're like, "Hey, what's the best hot tub to buy? What hot tub should I get?" And my answer to them is always, you know, every brand kinda has its thing that it does well, right? But for the most part, I tell them, what you really wanna feel good about is who you buy your hot tub from, because you will be going back to them for something. And that is gonna be the most important part of this, is making sure that you feel really comfortable who you're buying this hot tub from, that they're gonna be there to take care of you through the life of that hot tub. And I'm not sure they always believe me. They're like, "Well,
but
they're like they wanna compare this model to that model." And I'm like, "That's not really what matters in this, to tell you the truth." And they kinda I'm not sure they like that answer, but I think it is the most important thing when you're doing this is that service and making sure that you're gonna be taken care of, because it's like any appliance, like, something is going to happen eventually, and you're gonna need help, and you wanna
yeah,
make sure that you've got someone who will take care of you.
yeah, if I was an owner, I'd hire you right now. Really, because of that saying, I tell people all the time, like, it's not what you buy, it's where you buy from. I mean, because we already have a quality, sustained product that's, company traded, that's well known, it's been around for a long time, but it's who you buy from. I always tell people, if you like the product, you like where it's coming from, and you like who you're buying it from, my company and me, and you like me working with me, there's there's no way not to do this, you know?
Yeah.
So that was in the Wolf of Wall Street book that I read. He's like, hey, do you like the company? Do you like the brand, the product? And you like me as a sales rep? Those are all three things. That's all you need to know.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I've often wondered, sometimes I'm like, am I on the wrong side of this business? Like, should I be selling hot dogs instead of
Well,
writing about them? I'd probably make more money.
well, after you said that, a lot of people don't, but that's exactly is huge. What you just said.
I mean, it sounds like you're a true convert to hot tubs. Like, just like you said, live the life, the hot tub, sauna, cold plunge, the whole deal. I Again, I mean, I feel like we keep mentioning this, but at the hot spring conference, Ben Pert gave a presentation on the health benefits of hot tubs, which I told him at the time was one of the best presentations I've seen in the industry probably in the last 5 years. Like, it was excellent. It was all of the information that I have always wanted and tried to get about what a hot tub and a sauna and a cold plunge, like, actually do to your body. I mean, I guess I'm just curious, like, how have you seen that play out, like, in your own life and health and wellness as you've used these products?
Oh, it's night and day difference. I mean, I work out as much as I can. You know, as we get older, it's harder to, you know, be more mobile and not have aches and pains, you know, depending on what you do. But I play a lot of pickleball. I did this morning for 2 hours before our our little conversation we're having right now. And, you know, the best thing when I get done is I come back and I hop in the cold plunge for 4 to 5 minutes. It just makes me feel better, right?
Yeah,
So that's why I tell people, you know, if it's a selling a car, you know, you want to know what that car does, right? You know, when I did sell cars, people knew more, depending on who they were, knew more about it than I did. So
yeah,
they're like, why should I buy it from you if I know more than you? And I get it, right?
yeah.
So that's why I use the products and I know, you know, the benefits of infrared compared to traditional types of heat saunas. But it helps me with my arthritis, you know, infrared does because it's heating your inside of your body, where traditional heats the room. It's good for detox. I don't drink, but if you were a drinker, I tell people I'll sweat all the booze out of you from the 4th of July weekend, right? So some people will love that idea and they're like, oh yeah, I want a sauna. But it's just good to use them. You can tell people what it's doing to your personal health and just makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. All right. So, are you ready for the Spa Retailer 5? We ask everybody the same 5 questions before we finish up.
Hmm.
Okay. So, do you remember your first hot tub sale?
I do.
What do you remember about it?
I was excited because I was like, it's my first one. It was actually a friend of mine and their husband's a farmer and he just came in and it's honestly it's kind of half lit. It's kind of crazy. And but it was like it was before the fair. It was our pre-fair sale, right? It
Yeah.
started 3 years ago in like July 25th, I believe the date was. And it was like I want to say just into July. And they came in and saw me. So I had one previous fresh up that I didn't know him and gave him a quote. They ended up buying like a week later, but my
Yeah.
first sale was Jenny and Tony Bush Farm, close to my hometown. Stroked the check, bought the Grandee with speakers and the whole nine. And
All right.
I was excited. So I do remember my first sale. Yeah.
What was your first real job?
My first real job was Fairway. It's a grocery store in Iowa. And
Okay.
I sacked groceries, helped little old ladies and other people. No matter, you could be a 25-year-old bodybuilder, and we still had to carry them out with a cart and then put the groceries in their trunk or car.
Yeah.
So that was
Yeah.
my first job at 14.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have this one might be kinda hard, but do you have in the 3 years that you've been doing this, have you tried something that just did not work out, that was a complete failure or flop? Or I don't know if it was an idea or tried to sell a product or I don't know. Was there something that you thought was gonna be a real game changer and then it just ended up not working out?
Yeah. It was just this last May. Uh,
Okay.
so in Iowa, there is an organization and an event called the Bacon Festival. Okay.
Okay.
So it has that Iowa State fair type theme. So me and the general manager, Ryan Hutcheson, went to it and brought a cold plunge. They didn't have water for us to fill it up, so that was pointless. And
Sure.
then we brought an empty relay hot tub, and I made these bacon festival hot spring shirts saying,
Yeah.
"Let the sizzling begin with a pig in a hot tub," right? And I sold some shirts there, but it was more of a, I don't care about this stuff. I'm just here to drink and listen to music and have a corn dog.
Got
So
it.
it was trial.
Not the audience
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
a hot tub.
It was, so it was a learning lesson, trial and error, right? So
Yeah.
next year we won't do it. But
Yeah.
I thought maybe, and it was just when the 0% for 60 was about to hit through Watkins, 0% for 5 years on
Yeah.
Light and High Life collection. So I had brochures and I put 0 for 60 for these dates.
Yeah.
I don't recall had a couple conversations, but no business,
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
So.
So people don't want to eat a bunch of
It's
bacon and then get into their bathing suit, apparently.
yeah, there's the dream. So,
Yep. Yep.
but you never know unless you try.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I feel like that was like you said, it had that fair atmosphere. So yeah, why not give it a
Yeah,
shot?
yeah. I was in a big agriculture type building and
Yeah.
had a bunch of vendors there, mostly food and drinks. But yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
But
So, I mean, what on the flip side, what is something that you've tried that was the opposite that worked out great? Maybe exceeded expectations.
yeah, no. So the shirt idea, like I don't know if you can see the one I have on now.
Yeah.
It just says hot tubs calling, and then it says, it gives you some options
Ah,
like
got it.
it says, and I must go to my hot tub. So but I created these shirts when I first started, because when I sold cars, I would take a picture by their vehicle that they bought and say congrats on social media. So I kind of used that idea when I was doing cars to stand by the hot tub, hold their t-shirt up, congrats on your hot tub, Mrs. and Mr. Jones.
Yeah.
Then I asked them, hey, can I post this? Absolutely. And then their friends see it. Oh, where'd they get that hot? I want a hot tub. Call Dustin. Call
Uh-huh.
call Charmer. He'll take care of it. So it's been a lot of leads that way using social media. And that's why I told people that reach out to me. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. It generates business. You're honestly not smart if you don't utilize that side of things.
Yeah.
So that's always been good for me. And taking videos of me in the swim spot at the store with the bike, aqua bikes, doing stuff like that, or me and my cold plunge or sauna just gets people's attention.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, why I want one of those, or why can't, I try that out. So
Yeah. Yeah. You said, that you're listen to a lot of books, read a lot of books,
yep.
podcasts, all of that thing. Do you have a favorite? You mentioned Relentless Sales, but,
That's my favorite. It's called
that's your favorite.
yeah, it's so good. I'm telling you, you learn a lot from it. It just talks about your faith and and everything when it comes to being the best person you can, but attacking the day. If
Yeah.
it's praying in the morning and then getting your mindset right and then writing down what you want to accomplish and how to go about it and be relentless and persistent and just all the key basics to, being where you want to end up at.
Yeah. That's something that Steve talks about a lot in our sales training program too. I mean, who you are is what you bring to every sale, right? And it's so that like that part of it is important, that character aspect of what you do. So yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds great. I'll have to pick that one up.
Yeah. Yeah. You should read it. It's good.
Well, Dustin, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. This was fun. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I had fun and appreciate you reaching out to me and thanks for your time. Appreciate you.
The Spa Retailer Podcast is a production of Spa Retailer Magazine. Let us know what you think by leaving a review or emailing us at podcast@sparetailer.com. Thanks for listening.